Okay. So today we will look over the Angular form. Okay. So just start writing. Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So type of form. Type of form. FORM. Type of form. First, template driven form. Template driven form. Template driven form. Second, model driven form. Model driven form. Model driven form. And within bracket for the model driven form, reactive form. Model driven form, also known as a reactive form. So type of form, template driven form, model driven form. Model driven form also known as the reactive form. Done.
Sir.
Okay. So now write that template driven form. Give heading template driven form. Template driven form. Given? Okay. Just 1 second. So type of form. What is first? template driven form. What is second? Sorry.
Model driven form.
Model driven.
Also reactive.
Model driven driven form. Okay. Same is known as the which one? Reactive. 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 CTIVE. Reactive form. So model driven form, template driven form, and second is the model driven form. A model driven form is also known as the reactive form. Okay. Next. So give heading of the model template driven form. Template driven form. So actually, when we are using the form, where we will use? Any example? When we will
Fill some
use?
data.
Okay, fill means fill some data like registration, login, correct? Registration, login. In this process, be using the any type of form. Means if we want to collect some data from the user side, so in that scenario, we will go with the form and we will collect that data from the user side with the help of the form. So there are two type of form available in the Angular. Okay, so that is a template driven form and second is the model driven form. But here, what is the difference in both? We will see that one by one. So first we will go with the template driven form. In template driven form, actually, what we will do when there will be requirement of a small task. Okay, so write down in the template driven form, forms such as login, forms such as registration, comma, in this type of form, in this type of form, we will write all the content. We will write all the content within bracket input field. We will write all the content within bracket input field on the component page, on the component page itself, on the component page itself. Okay, means what we done. So like template driven form. So like just a small form. Okay. Suppose there is requirement of taking just 5 field. Okay. So 5 field like email, name, just to go with first name. After that password, then email ID, then DOB, date of birth. Just 4-5 fields is required for this. So in this type of scenario, what we can do, we can go with the template driven form. Okay. Why driven form? When we will look over the reactive form, that time we will see that what is the benefit of going with the template driven. So here what we are doing, here we are just collecting suppose 5 fields. Okay. So now you can write that. Next line. Just for example, we have to create one form. Example, we have to create one form with a 5 field, with a 5 input field. We have to create one form with just 5 input field. Just to give example like name, password, email ID, DOB, mobile, that one. Once you're done, just let me know. Done. Completed.
Yes,
sir.
Okay. So what are we doing here? In this template driven form, we creating one form with just 5 field. Means we can tell that it's very simple. Now create one form, just write one example, one more example there with like 25 field. Okay. Just there itself, example 2, create one form with approximately more than 25 plus field. Just write sample example, that's it. Create one form with more than 25 fields. Okay. Now go next. For this example, we'll get clarification in the second. What we have to do? Write that heading. How we will use the form. How we will use the template driven form. Write that. Need to import. Yeah. How we will.
20,
How we
more
will.
than 25 input fields for how?
Yeah. In that next means give heading. How we will use template driven form. How we will use template driven form. Write down that next. We need to import which one? Form module. Let's see. Go to app module, and on app module we will import form module. See that form module is already imported. Okay. Maybe we had used actually that two-way binding. I think due to that or what, somewhere. Yeah. So we have to use that form module. We have to import that forms module. You can write down that complete line, import form module from Angular form, that complete line. And on which page? App module.ts, because app module is the root. That's why we will we will import on the app module. Clear? Write down next. Challenges. What are the challenges we will face? CHALLANGES. Challenges. Written. Challenges. Give point number 1. Write down that first. Easy to use. Easy to use. Easy to use because of template. Easy to use because of template. Right there within bracket. Easy to use because of template. Write down there. We will write most of code. We will write most of code on HTML page of the component. HTML page of component. We will write most of the code on HTML page of the component. Clear? Go next. Suitable for simple scenario.
Sir, second point है ना sir?
हाँ, second point. Suitable for simple scenario. Suitable for simple scenario, but in the same, fail for the complex. Fail for complex. Because management is difficult. Because management is difficult. Means now see, if suppose what we had seen there, that where we writing that all the code on the HTML page. Now just imagine if we will write all the line of code on our HTML page itself, on this page itself. So for the small type of field, means like just you have 10, 20, means a 10, 15, that's fine. We can manage at least somewhat. But when you have like 25, 50, means like that type of fields, number of columns, number of input field, in that scenario, it become complicated because suppose just take the example of your CSS. Okay, if you have to write CSS, what we are doing, we are going with the external CSS and we are writing on the separate file. Why we doing that? Because due to that, it going to help in the managing of the form, managing of the HTML and CSS. Means when we have to do something, we searching that, or we have to do some modification, or we have to do some changes. So in that scenario, if you will write on HTML, it become too complex because that data which is available on the HTML and CSS, it become more line of code. So that's become very critical, you can tell that, very difficult to handle that data on that page. So in the place of writing that code on HTML, what we are doing, we are writing that code on the TypeScript page. Means in the, that's why we are not writing when we have more number of fields on the HTML. We are not writing on HTML. It become more difficult. Okay, so write down that in challenges itself. We can use in that itself, next line, we can use two-way binding. We can use two-way binding. And how we are using two-way binding? Anyone? How we are using two-way binding? With the help of a ng model. Correct? So see how we have to pass. We have to pass within a square bracket. Then we have to give parenthesis, and here we will write ng model. Okay, so this type we are writing two-way binding. Why this much came? This type we have to write that two-way binding. Clear? So just write this one, two-way binding. Next line. Less number of code on, less number of code, less number of code on component, less number of code on component. Less number of code on component. Component in the sense TS page. Okay, so these are the some. What is the template driven form? What are the challenges of the template driven form? Now write down the second form. Second is the model driven form slash react, means within bracket reactive form. Model driven or reactive. Model driven form or reactive form. Written. Okay, so just compare now with the previous one. What we had seen in the template driven form, just to go top, whatever we had started. So template driven form, forms such as login, registration, like that type of form we are using on the template driven form. So because their fields, number of fields is less, but in the case of the reactive, number of fields are more. Okay, so now you can write down that something difference between both. So what we had written first one, so forms such as login, registration, this be creating the form on component itself. Okay, that's related to be, we will do the same thing. Now right here something sample. When we have, when form having more number of input field, when form having more number of input field, like 50 plus, more number of input field 50 plus. In that scenario, we can go with the model driven form. In that scenario, we can go with the model driven form. Okay, when we have more number of field, we can go with the model driven form. And why we going with the model driven? Because in this scenario on HTML, we will write less number of code. Okay, so write down that. Next line. In this reactive form, means model driven form, in model driven form on HTML page, in model driven form on HTML page, we will write less number of code. We will write less number of code, and most of the code we will write on the TypeScript page, TS page. Most of the code we will write on the TS page. Clear up to here written? Next, in TS file, we will create a model. In TS file, we will create a model. In TS file, we will create the model. Next line. We creating model using built-in class, like form group, like form group, and
Sir,
using built-in class built-in, built-in, built-in class or classes, anything. Built-in classes like form group, and form control. Form group and form control. And need to bind that model to HTML form. Okay, so up to here written. So in template driven, what we had done when we using template driven? Anyone? When we will use template driven?
More than 50 fields we have, then you can use driven.
What?
More than 50 fields.
More than
50 plus-
50 field.
50 plus field. Input.
Then we will use it. Then we will use template or model driven.
Model driven.
Model driven. But what about the template? When we will use template form? Template means less number of field, and model driven means more number of field. Okay, so when we can use it anyone, it's not that restriction. If you have less number of field or more number, suppose that you have just 5 field. Okay, in that case also you can go with the reactive form, means model driven. There is no any restriction. Keep in mind, there is no any restriction that you have to go with the model driven itself or a template. Nothing like that. Okay, so in the template, what we was doing? We was importing something. What we had imported? In template, what we had imported? Check in the note. Form modules. Okay, so now write in this sense also. Model driven form. Give a star and write that need to import. What is the form name? What is the form name here? Reactive form. Okay, we are not telling model driven, but keep in mind the name that it is model driven also. Okay, so because in some time in interview they are directly asking that what is model driven. Okay? So that time it becomes, if you have no idea, then it becomes the problem. So that's why keep in mind that this form itself known as the model driven and reactive. Okay, so previously that was template driven. We had imported their form module. This is template driven form. Sorry, this is a reactive or model driven form. So what we will do? What we will import? Any idea? What form module we will import? We will import @ Angular /forms. Okay, let's see whether in this package or some different package. Reactive form. Okay, reactive form module means what we are importing? We are importing form module and we are importing the reactive form module. Write down this one. We will import reactive form module. We will import reactive form module on where? On which file? App module.ts. Okay. If you are using suppose the lazy loading, so we will take care regarding that our component or module. Because if you will import this on app module and if you're not importing on your lazy module, lazy one, so you will not get that effect. Your form will not work. So you have to take care on the lazy loading side also. Okay, so what we importing? Be importing the reactive form module. Now Write down the next. What are the features? Features of the model driven form. Features of the model driven form. So first feature, more flexible, more flexible, more flexible, but more flexible, but need more practice. More flexible, but need more practice. What means, what are you getting from this term? Need more practice. What it making sense? Need more practice in the sense template driven form, that is simple. If you have 5 to 10 column, means 5 to 10 fields, you can simply add on HTML and you can carry on. But when you're going with the model driven form, means reactive one, then you have to take care regarding the practice. Sorry, regarding the practice, that how we can add that, how we can use. So in that scenario, we can go with the, we have to practice a lot, then only we will get it handy. Okay, next, it will handle, next line, it will handle complex scenario. It will handle complex scenario. It will handle complex scenario. Next line, where we are writing, don't write in in template driven, where we was writing more number of code and less number of code. But we had means written that time, where we was writing the code on HTML or TS. Where? Any idea?
In reactive, less number of code.
Man, first listen the question.
Sir,
I'm not telling
in
the reactive. Yeah, tell template driven.
Sir, template driven writing more code in HTML page and module driven writing more code in STS page.
Yeah. So in template, what we are doing in template, we are writing more number of code on HTML side, okay, and less number of code on the TS page. But in reactive, that is opposite. Means more number of code we will write on the TS page and less number of code we will write on the HTML side. Okay. Next. So just write down that more number of code on component in the reactive form, more number of code on component means TS page, and less on HTML. Done. More number of code on component and less number of code on the HTML. Next, no data binding. No data binding. Previously, what we done? Data binding we were doing with the help of the, yeah.
Sir, can you pardon and again more number of component?
More code on component. More code on component and less code on HTML. More number of code or more code on component. Component means a TS page and less code on HTML. Done.
Yes.
Okay. Next, no data binding. Previously, what we were doing, how we were binding the data in the previous form. Vivekanand, take care on mic. Okay. So, data binding was there in the template driven with the help of which one? NG model, two-way binding. But here, no data binding. Write down that there is no data binding. There is no data binding. Next, easy to add, easy to add, easy to add element dynamically. Easy to add, easy to add element dynamically. Easy to add element dynamically. Done. Go to next. This is to be okay. Next. So write down the next line. Which one will be better, whether template driven or reactive? Which form will be better, dash template driven or reactive? Which form will be better, whether template driven or reactive? Now tell me the answer of this one. Now we had written. Now we understand somewhat. So just tell me, which one will be better, template driven or reactive? What you observed? Yeah. What?
React.
React.
Yes, sir.
We are studying Angular.
Sir,
That is reactive.
Sir,
Yeah.
reactive, but more practice.
Yeah. So actually, we can't tell that which one will be better. Both are better. Okay. Because both are depending on the scenario. That when you are using that, suppose you have just 5 field, you can go with the template driven. If you have like 20 field, you can go with the model driven reactive form. So like that, we have to keep in mind, as per our requirement, we can choose our form. But for a small task, we can go with the template driven. For more number of tasks, means complex tasks, we can go with the reactive. Clear? Clear up to here, or having any doubt? If you want,
Sir, one doubt,
yeah.
sir. In
Yeah,
reactive from module, sir, means import from module also.
no, we will import a reactive form module, not form module.
Okay.
Means here you getting that both form module and reactive form module. So both are for separate. This is for which one? Template driven. Correct? Means what we are doing, same time, means whenever we will work on the project actually, so we will import all the forms there, means in the project. Why? Because suppose for right now we are using template driven. We had imported that just a form module. Tomorrow, after some days, we want a model driven, means a reactive form also. That time again you will come on the app module, you will import this, that, the same scenario you will do. So what we are doing, we are not waiting that much, we are just importing, and whenever it is required, we can use. Got it? That we can do. So that's why we can import same time both module, means both form on that page. So this is for the reactive. Fine, completed up to here. So this was actually type of form. We had looked over some basic difference between the form. Now we will go with the template driven form. Now give the heading template driven form. Give heading template driven form. Now we will write somewhat line in this template driven form. Already we had written previous, that's will be same. So what type of form this is, simple or complex? Template driven. It is for simple task, means you can write down. You can write down it is simple form. Note down there, it is simple form. It is simple form. Next, it is called template driven. It is called template driven. It is called template driven because we going to do all work on template. All work on template. On component, very less number of code. On component, very less number of code. On component, very less number of code. Done. Next. Okay, so now we will go with the sample example, that how we can import and how we can do that. So what we have to follow, what step, first step we have to follow, just go quickly. So what is the first step? First step is to import, correct? Just speak, then only it will be easy. Otherwise you will think that's complicated. So first we will import. So what we importing for the template driven? We will import
Anchor.
forms, and what will be that? ng ng model or form module?
Form module.
That will be form module. There is that. Yeah. So we will import the form module, and next, suppose we have to use that reactive form also. So what are we doing? What we have to import? We have to import the reactive form module. Okay. So that two things. After import, what we will do? Next line. This is my import sentence. After import, this is a module, correct? So we have to declare inside the import section, correct? We have to declare inside the import section. If you want, you can note down. First, in the app module, you have to import, and then in the import section, you have to register that one. Clear up to here? Go slowly, slowly. That's better, but be clear regarding each point. Why we writing and what we written. Okay, so first step completed. Now come to the second. Now where we have to write the code? Where we have to write the code? So we will write the code on our HTML page or TS page. So most of the code will be on our HTML page. Okay, so here we will write. So how we will write? So we will take one tag, that is form tag. Okay, we will take the form tag. Let it to be action, whatever is there. We will see later. So next, in the form tag, let's remove this action. Yeah. Now in the form tag, what we will do? Now we will go with our HTML and pass input field, label, whatever we want. Okay, as we are doing already. So we will take just some form, means some of the fields there, and we will see that issue, how we can refer that one. Okay, so let's do that. So take one input field. How we are doing? So first we will take one div. Okay, and inside the div, what we will do? One second. Inside div, we will take one label. See, as like HTML, nothing difference is there. Okay, so we will take email ID. Enter email ID. Next, see, that's why I had told during the HTML, make one form practice, because we know when you will come to the Angular, then we will use that thing. That's why. So we will take type input, type equal to text. That's it. Okay. Next, let it to be. Next, we will see later. Let's reload the page and see whether we getting something or not. So where my project is loading. Why we not got? Because selector we had not passed. So let's take the selector and pass on the app component.html. App component.html. Wait. I will do one thing. I will not pass this selector here. I will add with that router outlet also. Anchor tag, then template form. TMP melody template driven form. Okay, now make this routing. Where is this? Yeah, it's here. Why this is loading this much slow? Okay. Okay. So here we getting template driven form. Okay. Now what we have to do? So what are we doing actually? So let's remove this one. We want one input field that be added here. Input field email and input type equal to text. Okay. Next, what we have to do actually? Now we want the data. Whatever data is there means whatever data we will get on the button click or something that we want to get where on the HTML means in the console or wherever we want to print that data. What we can do? We will take the button. Now take the button and just we will see how we can do that one. Just 1 second. Yeah. So now take the button, make one separate div and remove this. Make input type equal to submit and wait, don't take type. Take that type button itself directly. Done. Format the code. Yeah. Type equal to submit. Now save, reload the page. Where it gone? It's too slow actually. Okay, that button is there. Wait. Let me add some line of code here for this one. BR tag. Okay, so now what we will do? We added the input field here and a label, and after that we taken the button. And now when we will click this button, it going to save the data. Now do one thing. If you have to do same type of activity on your JavaScript and HTML side, how you will perform? Anyone? how we will perform same type of activity on the JavaScript side. Can anyone tell?
Sir,
Suppose there is no any.
input field write their value and inside function one variable create and document dot get element by id dot value
Yeah.
fetching the
Means we will target that, we will get the value and we can print that. Correct? But here we will not go that much scenario. We can do simply what we can do actually. We will get with the help of that button directly. Okay. So what we will do actually in this case, we will make one variable where this is a template driven form. Okay. So in this form section itself, we will make one local variable. So what will be that local variable? We will make that with the help of the hash symbol, and with the help of hash, we will pass any value, just like a registration form. I passing one variable name. Okay. Reg form equal to, and here we have to pass what is this form. So this form is reactive form, sorry, template driven form. So in the case of template driven form, what we have to do, we will pass a ng form there. Okay. So we will pass a ng form in this scenario. So this, see, just take care regarding this writing process. We will write the camel case. So starting will be small letter and F will be in the capital letter. Okay. So registration form. Let's just save this one. After this, what will happen? Just see. So what will be done actually? Still, we have taken some of the field, some of the input field. We taken one button. We not added any type of the click event here. And in the form section, we added one local variable. Okay. What is this local variable? Has range form equal to be telling that what is that form type, that is ng form, that we have to pass there. Okay. After that, now the case is that when we will click this, let's say pass some data, and now click this, what will happen? We're not getting anything. Okay. Even now our case is that how we will pass the data from HTML to TypeScript page. TypeScript in the sense on this page. How we will pass that value. That is our scenario. 1 second.
using two-way binding.
Yeah, hello. So how we will pass that data from HTML to TypeScript? That is our requirement. Suppose this same situation, if you have to follow in the JavaScript, so we can go directly, we can refer that HTML field. We can go with the document.getElement by ID and we can get the value. Correct? But in the case of Angular, we will not go like that much lengthy process. We can go with the shortcut. Okay. And what is that shortcut? What we will do, we will create one method. Okay. We will create one event here. What type of event? Either click event, but mostly when we are going with the button, means in the form side. So we are taking that ng submit event. Okay. You will get that ng submit. Sorry. You can write here ng submit, SUBMIT. Take this one. You will see later whether we can able to get this with a click event or not. We will see that. So ng submit equal to, here we will make one method call. Okay, like for saving the data. So suppose I taking one method name register. Register. That's it. Now, if we had written method call, it means that somewhere this method is defined. So now up to this, we done somewhat process. Okay, we had taken some input field, we taken one button. What we doing? We added that button type equal to submit. After that, for this complete data, how we will pass that from HTML to TypeScript? For that process, what we had done, we taken this ng template equal to register. Okay. Now, what we will do? We will come to the TypeScript page. Now go there. And why we getting error? Because this method is not available. That's why. So let it to be error, not an issue. Now we will define our method here, and then we will write the something. Means now what will happen? Now whenever the data, when we will click that button, the data will move from the HTML to TypeScript page on this page. But in this case, now just see one thing. In the register, we are not passing any argument right now. So how we will get that value? Anyway, just do one thing. Just save this value. Just save this page both, and we will try to get something, whether we are able to get or not. And we will try to print in the console. So already we know how to print the data in the console. So with the help of the log. Now our dot is dot. Now the problem is that how we will get that value then? Because we are not passing anything from the HTML side on TS, then how we will get that? So what we have to do, let's check what error we getting. 1 second. Register form. What is that wrong? Okay, so no issue. Let it to be. So what we have to do, we have to pass the data. Whatever form data is there, we have to pass this from the HTML to TypeScript. So how we will pass? So we will do all those operations with the help of this local variable. Okay, and which is local variable? This range form is the local variable. So we will take this and we will pass inside the register like this type. Okay, and once we had passed inside the register form, this inside the register, that range form. So what we will get? We can receive the same thing on our TypeScript. Now try to receive that. Just write something here. If data. That's it. And same if data we will try to receive here. Just to see whether we can get or not. Let's see whether we getting any error. So we not getting any error. Now go to console and check what is happening actually. Whether we are getting some data or even it's not. So now just pass anything and click on the submit. What happened? We got some data, ng form. But now the problem is there. Where is our data? Means hj, whatever we had be passing here. Let's say pass proper data a@a.com. Okay, and now submit. First close that, means clear the console. Click that. What we getting? We getting ng form. From where we getting ng form? See that we had be passing f data. F data, check on the HTML. On HTML, what we had taken? We taken what is the type of form? That is ng form. Same thing we getting in the console as a ng form. Now the problem is that where is our value? a@the.com. So let's look over inside this one. So somewhere you will get that value. So just scroll and see inside ng submit whether anything is there. So no. Now click on form. So control values are there. Okay. Now open this prototype. No, it's not there. Just 1 second. Where it gone? Had I clicked this one or not? Let me click this. Yeah. So ng form. Then we will get this inside. Now go to the Where is that form controls? Yeah. Now inside control object is there, and okay. Now see what is the problem actually. We not getting the value. Why we not get the value? Means it given complete data. Means it given complete event of that form action. Okay, whether you had submitted, you had control, you have dirty property, these all things they had given, but the problem is that the value, it not given the value because we have to perform something here. So if you want to pass value from the HTML to type a script page in that scenario, we have to follow some case. So what we have to follow, just now take care. Next line. So what we had done in the input field, we had given just input type equal to text. So up to here, what we had done, we taken one form. In this form, we had taken just input field, whatever we want. Next, we had created one local variable and we assigned with the ng form. Okay. And next, we had created one event ng submit equal to just given the method and on TS page. And here be passing that local variable because whatever this form data will be, means whatever form data will be there, it will get and assigned to the registration form variable. Okay. And with the help of this registration form, what we are doing, we are passing inside the method. And that method will take all the value and it will pass to the component.ts page. And here we can print in the console section. Okay. But now the problem is that we're not getting the data in our console. So we had done one thing. So what we have to do, you have now you can imagine now there is one input field. Suppose that tomorrow we have three input field. How that form will identify that which input field is belonging to which one? Because we are not doing anything like get element by ID. We are not targeting anything. So for getting that information, what we have to do, for providing that, we have to pass here name. Okay, we have to pass here name. So what is that name? So name is like email. Okay. Now let's say now see whether we can get anything or still it not. Now let's try. So now give that mail ID, pass the data, open this, go to forms and go inside the form control. What are we getting here inside form control? It's giving error as null, valid, something, status as valid and something. And here value. So inside value also be not getting anything. Okay, we will get all the value inside this value itself. Okay, but here we not getting, means sure something is missing. So what we will do, we had given identification that name equal to email, but actually in template driven, when you will pass a name equal to even, you have to pass one more thing in the template driven, that is ng model. One second. Just we will write ng model. Okay, not that ng and that square bracket and that one. No, we have to write like this type actually. So now what we had done, we had passed ng model and this m will be I think capital or what. Let's see. Now pass the data and now verify. Take the email, take that. Now click. Go to control. Where is that? In form. Now go to value. Yeah. Now see. Now we got the email a@gmail.com. So now what happened? How we got the value? So still why we was not getting this value? Because so what you had seen, one this thing is required compulsory. If we will not pass this one, so what will happen? and where we are getting this email keyword. So that email keyword is we are getting inside this as a key. You can see here, because this itself we are getting there. Just do one thing. Now remove this. Now just take care whether we are getting that or not. Now see. So what happened? So if ng model is used within a form tag, either the name attribute must be set or the form control must be defined as a standalone in ng model option. Means what we can tell, if you had written ng model, in the sense name property is compulsory. It means it is clear that if you are writing template driven form, in that situation, sure you will pass the ng model and a name property. These two things is compulsory. Clear? So now the problem is that, just reload the page. Yeah. So now the problem is pass the data. Wait. ABC@. Now just click be getting ng form. Where is the data? Go inside the form, go inside the value and see be getting abc@abc.com. Now the problem is that I want this data, but our data is not inside this one. Our data is coming inside form be getting output like this type. Now tell me how we can get. Now see, this is not Angular concept. This is concept of JavaScript. Now tell me how we can get the value from here. Form. Yeah. How we can get this value? Tell me. Who will use the mind? Just see. Hello. Tell me how to get this value. This is concept of array. No one.
Sir, from
Form dot value. Okay. Let's try. So where we will pass in the console. So f data dot. Okay. What form you told? Let's take that form. Let's try what we getting with the form first. So then one by one step we will enter inside. Okay, we got here. No? 1 second. So now enter the value. Pass. What we got? Okay, so we had taken form dot value, but we not get that one. Means sure some mistake we had done. So what we can do? We had reached there. No, value is still there. So we'll do one thing. Remove this form. Now save. Others can try how we can get that value. How we can get internal value. So which is on the top ng form is there, correct? So we can first take the ng form. Is that or not? Next, what you can take? Tell me.
Next, we can take form, sir.
Next form. Okay.
After that,
Let's
we can
try.
take value.
Okay, fine. Let's take that. Just see. Dot ng
Form.
FORM form. Let's shape. Let's see whether we are getting or not. Okay. Now reload that. Click. We getting undefined. It means it's creating the problem.
So it is take a direct value, sir.
Okay. Now see. So we got here that ng form. Inside we got the form section. Inside that we get value. So just try take dot form dot value. Let's see what we getting. We getting that or not? So see what happened. We got the email value. Correct. If you want just email, this will come in the object side. If you want just email dot, you will pass the key. So now you will get the email. Okay. Now pass the value. Now submit. Clear? Now you're getting the value. And now if you got this value here, it means now you can proceed for other option also, whatever option you want. Correct. So what we had done, we had taken just only one field. Now I want not only one field, I want some more fields. What we can do? Copy. Now you have to speak what are the changes we have to do. Suppose I want a mobile number. Enter mobile number. Next, what we can do? Input type equal to, let it to be text. Go with name equal to mobile number. Next, what about ng model? It will be here. Yeah, we have to keep that there. Now save and now see. Or any more changes is there or just only one? So in the console side, no changes because we are targeting just email. Okay, let's take that mobile number also. We want suppose mobile number. What we can do? So which email is that one? Actually that is a name value. Okay, so like that we will take this mobile number. We will pass that mobile number here. Let's save and execute. So now she. So pass that email, mobile number, give that. Got it. So this type what we are doing, we are printing the value inside the means we are getting. If you want in the object case, means if you want in the object form, not an issue. You can remove this mobile number. See, if you will remove this mobile number here, and if you will up to value, you will get the complete object. What data we are passing from the HTML that we can get there. Now see. Pass that. Now see. We got here separate value, and here we getting each in the object. If you will click, you will get that. Clear. So let's go through the code. What we had done actually. So go to the HTML, means the same type. What we will do? We will add multiple fields. We can create the form. So what we have to take care? We have to take care regarding the name property and ng model. These two property. Because this ng model and name property, it going to create the control over the input field. Got it? So that's why we will take the name and ng model. Now, so now if you want any more number of fields, means extra field, you can add, you can modify like that, it will work. Let's try with ng submit one time, whether if we taking click, it's working or not. Let's see. I have not idea. Let's see. What is that? So pass the data. So see what is happening actually. When we taking click event, okay, we had not submitted the form, and without submitting of form itself, be getting the data. Means as we are clicking inside the input field, directly be getting the value. See, now we clicked, we enter the value, now submit. On submit, we are getting this final result. Okay, but before that also we are getting this all record. That's why we will not take the click event. We will take which one? ng submit. ng submit is not going to pass the value directly. Now take the value. We not getting any output here. Now pass here. We not got anything. Now submit. We got our proper output. Now go to the code. What we had done. If you want, you can note down the code first. Just note down this example, then I will explain you each line why we had written. Just take at least one input field. If you not want to, not an issue, just take one input. Once you will done, just let me know. Note down this HTML code. Then I will explain each line and each keyword why we had taken. Done. Completed. Anybody had done or not? On HTML?
Done, sir.
Done.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. If you done, then just write this also. This 3 line of code. That's it. Just give heading on type on TS page and write that method and that one. And in this section, just write, it will give complete value. It will give separate value. Completed. Done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now I start writing each one. So first go on the top. Why we taken form tag? Because we want to create one form. So write down form tag, form dash. Note down that form dash for creating the form. For creating the form. Form tag for creating the form. Second, this has raise form equal to ng form. Write down this one. Has raise form equal to ng form. Has raise form equal to has raise form equal to ng form. So what is this individually, each one? What is this one? Can anyone? I had told actually that time.
Sir, it will target.
No. This is a local variable. Write down. This has range form. This will be your local variable. Means with has whatever you will write, that will be local variable. This you can create anything. Okay, it's not compulsory. That one only. Got it? The name itself is a variable. Means we can write anything. Here you can give. We can give any name. Okay. You can give any name. Clear? Next. What is second one? Second is ng form. It going to yeah, ng form. Write down. It will be somewhat lengthy. It grouping. It will group. It will group ng form. Then you can write down. It will group. It will group all control. It will group all control who having. It will group all control who having ng model. It will control all it will group all control having ng model. Okay, and after grouping, write down in that continue itself. After grouping it, after grouping comma, it will assign all value to local variable. All value to local variable. All value to local variable. Fine. Done. For right now, just write down the whatever we are telling, and once we will complete, I will explain each one again. Completed ng form and a range form. So I know that this range form, I think everyone is clear because this is just local variable. But inside this, you have doubt. Let it to be. Go next. Which one is next? Next is the ng submit equal to registration form. Who don't know this line? Anyone? What is this? Who can explain? What is this one? ng
Sir,
submit equal
the
to,
submit is the event and passing the method.
yeah, correct. So ng submit is an event and register is the method, and the same method we are defining on our TS page. So write down ng submit is event, ng submit is event, ng submit is event, and register is the method. Register is the method. Register is the method, and register is the method. Reg form is argument. Reg form is argument. Reg form is argument which containing all data, which containing all data of input field, which containing all data of input field, which containing all data of input field. Clear in this first line? Means except this ng form, this all clear or having anyone having doubt? If you have doubt, just tell me. Okay. Then these all are just HTML, no need explanation. Input field, again same thing with name and ng model. Write down name one. What is name? Can anyone? This is HTML. Okay, that is attribute. And what is his work? What it will do? Name one. What is the work?
Sir, which input means it will define the means which input field is means
Okay,
connecting.
correct. Means yeah, it's approx correct. So write down name. The name attribute specifies a name or an HTML element. Name for an HTML element. Name for an HTML element. Is it clear? Means this name property will assign, as like our name, it will assign a name to each input field. That's it. Clear? Second, ng model. Write down that. ng model. So ng model going to, it will use to, ng model will use to control, ng model will use to control each input field. ng model will use to control each input field. Next, note. N-O-T, note. Whenever we will use, whenever we will use input field, whenever we will use input field, there should be, whenever we will use input field, there should be name, there should be name, and there should be name and ng model. There should be name and ng model within bracket. There should be name and ng model within bracket. In the case of template driven, because we are not studying the reactive form, we are studying the template driven. Clear or having doubt? So whenever we will use template driven, means whenever we will use go with the template driven, name and ng model is compulsory. Why? Because it going to control that each field. Okay, that is the thing going on. So now just write some more explanation. Which one we right now we are writing in the note section? Yeah, write down there itself in the note. If we will, if we will, if we will not take, if we will not take either name or ng model. If we will not take either name or ng model. If we will not take either name or ng model, then write down that we will get error. We will get error because it is compulsory. Because it is compulsory. Because it is compulsory to take in template driven form. Template driven form. It is compulsory to take in template driven form. Write down there itself. Then only control will work. Then only control will work. Then only control will work. In the form, in the ng form, go to write down the next line note. Write down next line in the note. ng form, it is a directive. ng form, it is a directive. It is a directive which helps to. It is a directive which helps to. It is a directive which helps to create. Which helps to create control. Which helps to create control groups. Which helps to control groups inside the form directive. Which helps to control groups inside the form directive. In that same continue, next line. Form tag is providing additional benefit. Form tag is providing additional benefit. Form tag is providing additional benefit. Done up to here. Now see actually what is happening. Now just try to get the scenario which is dependent, which is not in, means a dependent, like that. Now just imagine, suppose you had clicked the button. Okay, we entered some values in the form section. Just go to the UI. Now we got that field. Okay, with the help of this input we will get fine. Now we are entering some field, means some data inside this one. We entered. After that, we will click this button, submit button. Now just imagine how when we clicking the button, we are not targeting each one. Had we targeted each element separate? No. If we not targeted, then how we get the data? Means if we not targeted, then how we got the data of each element? Means who inform that these all are the values? Means we have two input field, one is email, one is mobile number. So who informing that this is your value and this is your value, and you can pass this, and how it passing when we clicking the button? So you can see that on the top level that we can get one thing. When we clicking a button, we getting this thing. Means it is one point is clear. When we are clicking the button, that time what happening? This register method is calling, and inside the register method, what we are passing? We are passing registration form, reg form. It means that something we are getting from this reg form itself. Is this clear? Up to here, is this clear or not? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Means when we are clicking that button, we get, see, we will go one by one step. You will get clarity. Okay. So when we clicking the button, it means that it is sure that this method is getting to be called. And when this method is calling, that time we getting the data on the TypeScript. And what we had written? Nothing, just register and something variable, means argument we want to receive. So that we had written. But how data coming? Means how we receiving the data? That is the main point. So it is sure that this variable is passing that. And already we had told what is this one? Reg form. We are passing here has res form. What is this one?
Local variable.
Local variable. Correct. It means that this variable is passing the value to register method. Means where it went? Wait, let me copy this line. Now go to the code. Once you will get this completely clear, then it become too easy actually. Then see what is happening when we are clicking the button. When we are clicking the button, this method is getting called. But how this value is coming? So this value is coming from here. Means like this type. Clear? Next point. So for this variable, they're getting the value. But how this variable will get the value? Now, next question. How this variable will get the value? Now tell me. How this variable will get the value? So this variable will get the value with the help of this ng form. Okay. ng form will assign the value to this one. Means this will be like this type, ng form. Now the point is that how this ng form will get the value, because we have three input field. We have three input field. One is email ID and one is mobile number. Then how this means ng form will get that, how it will understand that this mobile number or this email ID is of this field. The separate. How they will understand that point? Can anyone? Up to here, it's clear or not? First, let it to be. Vivekanand.
Name attribute.
Yeah. So up to here, I think, hope it's clear. So now see, with the help of ng form, it passing that value to the reg form. Okay, reg form it passing in the method. But the problem, how this ng form will get the value? So ng form will connect with each input field. How this is going to connect? Means ng form going to control each one. But how it will control? With the help of what we are passing inside ng, this email ID, each input field, what we was writing extra than HTML, we was writing a name and ng model. we was writing this thing together. So with the help of a name, what it getting? It getting that it targeting this HTML element. Okay, with the help of this name, it targeting this HTML element, and with the help of name, this ng model, what is happening? So see, with the help of name, it giving that identification that this is email ID. Here name is there, it will give that this is mobile number. So now we got that someone is there who going to tell us this is mobile number, this is for this input field, this is for the another input field. Means regarding the input field, someone is there who having the information regarding their identification. So name is there, that's fine. Then next point, name will get the idea, but how this ng for will get that? How it will connect to each input field? The question is that one. How each input field will connect with that ng form? So with the help of the ng model. Okay, because ng model going to target, it going to control the each input field. And how? So see what will happen. This ng form is connecting with this ng model. Okay, and each one having this ng model. It means that it will connect with each one. And how this input field will connect to ng model? With the help of the name property. Clear? With the help of name, it will give whatever name is the name value will be there, it will give to ng model. Then suppose here name is email ID, it will give to the model. Here name is mobile number, it will give to the ng model. And lastly, what will happen? Now you can see that everyone is got connected. This name property, this input field is connecting with the name property. Name property value, whatever name value is there, it will assign to the ng model. Means suppose email. So email they are passing to the ng model, and this ng model is connected to ng form. Ng form passing to the local variable. Local variable is passing to the method. Clear or not? So this type, this cycle is going on. Got it? Or having doubt? Tell me. Anyone having doubt on which point? You can. Praful, Shivani, Roshan,
No, sir.
Vivekanand. It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Just go each point.
ng
How?
model
Yeah.
containing means name.
No. See, ng model is going to be control each input field. Okay. Each will control each input field. But the problem, how it will control each input field? How it will got the information? With the help of the name. Because that name will provide information regarding that input field to the ng model, and ng model will provide to the ng form. Correct? This ng model will provide to ng form, and this ng form again going to the registration form. Registration will go to the this argument, and once it passed inside the argument, means it gone on the TS page. Clear? So this
Yes.
cycle is going on. So now just write down how we will means how the process is going on. Okay, now right. When we clicking the button, ng submit event, will trigger. When we clicking the button, ng submit event will trigger, and it will call which method? Register method is there. It will call register method. Correct? When we clicking, it will call the register method. And what it taking inside the argument? It taking the which one? Local variable. It will take local variable as argument. It will take local variable as argument. Write down here within bracket here range form is local variable. Here range form is local variable. Close the bracket. Here range form is the local variable. Up to here it's clear or having doubt? Please speak. If you have doubt you can.
No, sir, it's clear, sir.
Clear? Next. So what will be done when we clicking the button? It calling that, it triggering the event, it calling the method. Inside the method it taking the range form which is local variable. And now local variable range form. Write down next line. Local variable range form will get the value from where? From ng form. Will get the value from ng form. Okay, local variable will get the value from ng form. Okay, next point. Just write down there itself one question type. How ng form will get the value from the input field? Write down as a question. How ng form will get value? How ng form will get the value from input field, from each input field? How ng form will get value from each input field? Write down next. Means this is continuity, but just like a question, so you will get that idea. So ng form will control each input. ng form will control each input field. ng form will control each input field with the help of ng model. ng form will control each input field with the help of ng model. ng model. And there itself, and with each input field name attribute is there. With each input field name attribute is there. Who going to target? Name attribute is there. Who going to target our HTML element? Who going to target HTML element? Who going to target HTML element? And that name will provide the information. That name will provide the information to ng model. That name will provide the information to ng model. Clear? This way, what we can get? We can get the value on the TypeScript page. This way we can get the value. On TypeScript page. We can get the value on TypeScript page. Clear? Or having any doubt? So now we can get one point. ng form. That time I had told that maybe you not get clear because range form already we had seen local variable. ng submit, register, this all thing was clear. Now you got this ng form also. So what it going to do? Now you can read that line which we had written starting time. ng form, what we had written, can anyone? What we had written during a starting time regarding ng form?
Sir, it will group all control
Yeah.
to having the model, and after grouping it will assign all value to local value.
Yeah, now see. So what it is going to do, this ng form, mute Prabhu. So this ng form, it controlling each input field, correct or not? It controlling each one, and it getting in the group. It getting all the information in the group, because here one ng model, here another ng model. So this way it grouping all the control, because they have one control, they have this another control, means this another control. So these all control, they are grouping in the ng form. Got it? Clear? Or this type actually we can get the data. So suppose that if you have to take a calendar. So now what we can do, take the value in the calendar section. Input type equal to, you can take calendar, sorry, input type equal to date. Name equal to ALE date. Let's save. No need to modify anything, because we already taking email ID, mobile number, and here be taking complete object. Now run this page. Now we got the calendar. Now select the value. Take suppose that second. Press the button. What we got? We got the date 2/8/2022. If we want date, time, everything, so we have to take the calendar like that type. I don't know what is that name. Anyone having idea? What is that type? I think date, time, local. Let's see. Let's see now what we will get. Oh, it will give time also. So that's okay. Fine. Fine. So now just click. So what we got? We got here 2 August, and whatever timing it's showing 2309, this thing. So let it to be. Take that just date and time. I think date and time will give. What happened? Enter mobile number. Okay, so what we will do? We taken one date. Let's see. Now take the value, pass here, submit. What happened? We got the all value. We got the date. Now, once you got the value up to here, in the sense, if you want to pass this value anywhere, okay, you want to save in the local storage, session storage, anywhere, you can save that. How we can do? Let's see. So suppose here we are doing registration process. Okay. So when we clicking that button, so that time itself we can do, or we can do either separate also. So let's write one code. Save it. Okay. Save data. Okay. We will go with the local storage. So what is the code for local storage? Anyone having idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell.
Local
Local
storage
storage.
dot
Yeah.
set
data item.
Key and value, sir. Inside parentheses.
Yeah, fine. So here we have to pass a key. So let's say pass key date, comma, and a value. So just take anything for right now. Just write anything. Later we will change. But before passing the value, we have to convert that into a stringify or JSON.parse. Something we have to do. What we have to do? Anyone idea? Okay, let it to be. But that's fine. So what we have to do? We have to pass a set item, date, and whatever the values are there. Now tell me how we will get this value. How we will pass, means how we will call this method. When we will click the button, I have to set the value. So how we will call? So we will call this method, save data inside this, correct or not? We will call this. And what I want that when I clicking this register process, that time itself I want to save the data, means I want to call that this one. And when it calling, I want to pass the data. So what we will do? We will pass the data there. Okay, we will pass the complete value. If you want just a date, you can pass that just a date also. Dot, what is the name? So we have to take care regarding the name. So name is our date. So pass that date. Okay, and save data. It giving error because here we have one argument, but here we have 0 argument. Let's pass that. So what? Just date value. Okay, and now we will pass this value in the local storage dot set item. Fine. Let's save now. What happened? What is the error? Oh, sorry. This will be there now. Yeah. Now save this. Go to local storage. Check. What is the error? Cannot read properties of reading message. What is this? Oh, it's loading again. Okay, now go to the application. And now what we will do? We will, what is zooming? Oh my God, it's 200 zoom. Okay, now go to where is the local storage? Yeah, so local storage, some data is there. No, it's nothing now. Let's clear. Fine. Now put the data. Fine. Let's submit. What happened? Okay, so data got submitted, but we not able to see because we had not reloaded this page. Now reload, you will got the data. Not got. 1 second. Is there any error? No. But where is the data in the console? Okay, fine. Let it to be. Do again. Just submit. So we got the data here. Mobile number, date. Fine. So this dot save data dot date. And date value be passing date. What is the issue? Date. We have that code also.
I think, sir, JSON dot stringify.
No. I think here be doing some mistake. Okay, just wait. Assignment is there. Login process. Yeah, we will get here. No, not this. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's fine. This one. So local JSON.stringify, pass this date value and pass this here. Okay, and JSON.stringify, and now this converted date. Yeah, and now pass here converted date. Now what will happen? When we will call this value, it will go there. It will local storage dot set. Remove this, pass date. Let's save. Now just see. Now we got the data here. Let's check in the console application local storage. So we got the data. Got it? So this time we can save the data. Not only just a date. If you want complete data, you can pass there in the local storage. Okay. Next step. Suppose whatever data we saved in the local storage, I want to get that and I want to display on the UI. So write one separate method. See, always we know that only 2 lines of code, but don't write in just means this page itself. Write separate. Okay, that will be good. And if you want, you can save that. You can use the service also. Means you can decide. You can write this method on the service page, and you can call that method. Okay, that also you can. So now get data. Get date. Okay, right. See, always whenever we writing any variable name, try to write like universal. So you can use anywhere. So write date, write data. Sorry, get data. Yeah. So now what we will do? How to get that? So local storage dot get data. Local storage dot get item, and we will pass here. What we have to pass? We will pass the key. So what is key? So key is our date, correct? And this we have to convert into some different form. Parse JSON dot parse. Okay, I think that let's verify one time. Where is that? You will get on home page. Yeah, JSON dot get. Yeah. Local storage dot get item. We will do this one here. Okay, now local storage dot get item date. So here let's write that get date, or either that's just write normal. And now inside JSON.parse we will convert it. Fine. So this is converted value, or either you want, you can write converted date. Fine. Now our motto is to print this value get data on our UI. So what we will do? We will remove this. Don't pass let here. Give this dot. Now declare the property date as a string. That's fine. Let's remove this and write this dot. Declare this also converted. What is this? It will come this dot. Fine. Now come to here. Remove this dot. If you want, this way actually you can go alternate way. Don't give this converted date. Write this as original. YIGINAL. Now add there. this dot. Fine. So next step, we want to display this date, whatever data we are storing in our inside this inside that local storage. We want to get that. So already we getting that which one original date. So go with one-way binding. What is the process of one-way binding? Interpolation. Okay. So I want just date. Just normal we are doing, nothing more. There is no any complex logic. Already we know that how to do this. Okay. So original date. Let's bind. Let's see whether we will get the value or not. Now the problem is that one. Let's look over the code. So data is available in the local storage, but we're not getting the value. Let's check the value. Really be getting that or not. So go to first submit. So we not get the value. It means that some problem is there. We not getting, but value is there. If you will open this again, you will get that. So what is the problem actually? Because we had not called this method get data. So what we will do, we will call this one. Okay. And when we want to call, once we submitted that value, I want to call that one. It means when you going to finish this task, and that time we will call. So call after this itself. This dot get data like this means once you will save the value, after saving we will call this one. Means whatever value is there, it will give you. Let's see. So now just give the value. Now submit. We got the value there. So next step. Now I want to change the value. Change that value and submit. We got 1 here, but in console you're not getting 1. It's 2 because console, sorry, local storage will not auto refresh. Okay, you have to close this. Means you have to close, you have to open again. Then you will get that reflected value there. Go to application, go to local storage. Why we not got the value? It got deleted. No. One second. Okay, but now I want that the data which I had saved in the local storage to get available on the page load. Means when page is loading, that time itself I want. So what we can do, this method we will call inside the ng on init also, or either in constructor, anywhere you can. Okay, so now this method will get called on page load time as well. If any value will there, we will get the value. If no value, in that sense, we will not get. Okay, now we getting that 1. Reload the page. Just see, we getting that 1. Okay, so this type actually we will get the value. Now you can see that clear. But suppose that if the value is not there, then what will happen? Now reload the page. There is no value. So it will not give you the data. No data is there. So if you want to print message, you can print that message also. There is no data or something. How we can print the message? Anyone having idea? If I want to print message that no data or something like that, we can go with the ng if condition. So we can go with ng if and else. Wait. Ng if take else also. So here we take an ng container, ng template, fine. So if the data is there, in the sense date value is existing for the which one? This original date. It means let's pass here original date not equal to which one? Null or empty. Okay, it means if original date not equal to empty, if not equal to empty means your some data is there. So what we will do? We will take this our data value. Okay, else it will pass here else template means no data. Pass here, sorry, no data. Now take this and pass in the else template. Okay, and pass here. Pass here just like warning message. No data in local storage. Let's see now whether we getting that value or not, or what we getting. Let's close this console. It's not an issue. So now what happened? We not getting any data. It means that here we are not getting anything. Okay, then only either we not getting the H1 condition and even that one. It means it's satisfying some condition, but which condition? Original date not equal to empty. Let's pass something first, then we will see where it breaking the code. Put that. So we got the value, that's fine. But when data will not there, no data in local storage.
Sir, passing their method equals to empty.
Equal to. Okay, let's see. But that's not going to problem because
No, sir.
anyway
Means
on load
say
time.
passing their method, sir. Method equals to empty. So load their no data in local storage, and
Yeah.
then is not empty. So passing their original data.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay, fine. Anyway, just to see, we had given the scenario. We got that. Maybe somewhere that's it breaking. Just you can check that. Okay. So what we done actually? So we taken that input form, and with this input form, we had taken that some fields and we passing that value. But now what we had done, we had passed just one column, means just a date. If you want all data, more number of data, it's not an issue. Just remove this in the date field. Just remove this date, pass this complete value. Now see, you can get that when you will save the value. Let it to be open the console. Yeah. So now pass the value. Now submit. What happened? Be getting here object because be getting data in this form. Correct? Inside object type. So we have to get each field like where is that? Get item, set item, data. That's fine. So data. Get item date. Okay, here you have to assign each one separate date mobile number, keyword means whatever is there, each thing. Let's check this one. Application. Yeah. So here we getting date. Oh, anyway, we getting that date there. Not an issue. Then what is the key? So key is a date. Okay. So what we have to do? Where is that gate? Gate is a date. Okay. So this dot gate date dot date date. Why it's giving error? Let's save. Let's see one time. I think during get time it get date. Here itself we have to receive like that. But anyway, be receiving that object. Some error is there, yeah. In position 0 unexpected token. Correct. This one is the problem. But anyway, see, I written this code. Just you can rectify this error. Okay, it's simple. You will get that idea. So what we are doing here, we can get all the data. So this way we can use saving purpose of the data, and after that, once we will learn that another form also, then we will go with the means original database, and we will save that data. Clear? Or having any doubt anywhere, any point, you can ask. Let me stop.